So on this week's edition of the American Rewind, we want to take a look at one of the best players the American Athletic Conference has produced, and that is ECU wide receiver Zay Jones, who I'm really not kidding, and I kind of would jokingly say this. I think he caught 7,000 footballs while playing college football in the American Athletic Conference, and now we know he has graduated to the National Football League. And Zay has given us a few minutes here today on the American Rewind to sort of talk about his career at ECU. And Zay, first of all, welcome in. And let's start with this. Now that you've had some time to step out of the ECU bubble, you're in the NFL. Now that you have some time to look back, just tell me a little bit about how ECU got you ready for not only the rigors of the NFL, but how it really shaped you as a young person to get you ready for everything that comes with being a professional athlete.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, thank you for having me. But a lot of credit to ECU and the things they've done for me to help build my career, not only in college, but to transition me into the NFL. It was a long road ahead. I didn't start off catching 7,000 footballs. It was a process for sure. I remember being fourth on the depth chart coming in as a freshman to training camp and working my way through the process of being an established starter. But a lot of hard work and a credit to my coaches and teammates around me at first. But it was difficult, a constant grind, just staying true to myself and my process of training over the course of the years and being able to adjust and adapt to whoever was throwing me the football.
When I played college football, I know I had some position coaches who I worked with every day who made a real difference with me in terms of work ethic, where I wanted to get to in life, and just having someone there who was an adult to have conversations. Who was that person for you at ECU?
There were multiple people. First and foremost, Ruffin McNeil, the head coach, who found me and gave me an opportunity coming out of Texas. You know, I wanted to stay in Texas as a college football player, but didn't have that opportunity. Thankful for that to happen, though, and Ruffin McNeil gave me a scholarship to come play at ECU. Lincoln Riley for seeing my ability on the offense, knowing how to utilize me as a freshman. You know, it's not typical that freshmen come in and start right away. Lincoln Riley saw something special in me in my early years of college and allowed me to get on the field my freshman and sophomore year quick. Jeff Connors, my strength coach, mentally and physically getting me ready to play at a high level, putting more weight on me, giving me more speed, allowing me to be more physical. Donnie Kirkpatrick, my wide receivers coach, early in my career, helping establish me as a clear-cut slot receiver and giving me tools. Justin Hardy, my teammate and mentor that I looked up to, who caught just as many footballs before me to kind of show me the ropes a little bit. And then in my latter part of my career, Phil McGagan and Scotty Montgomery, kind of the NFL guys that help shape and mold that mind for me as far as what it's going to take to play in the NFL, and then putting me on a stage that's going to allow me to display my talent to these NFL scouts.
You beat North Carolina in back-to-back years at ECU. I mean, it resonated through the college football world and really a part of the growth of the American Athletic Conference. Kind of walk me through those two games against UNC and how you remember them.
Yeah, UNC, from my standpoint, had always been like the big brother to ECU. But we knew it was a different time. We knew we were a different team, and we wanted those things to change. And I specifically remember my sophomore year, UNC coming to our stadium and it being one of the most magical games in ECU history. We put up 70 points on them. I remember almost every single catch I had that game. It was just such a special day. I think the majority of our receivers went over 100 yards. Shane Carden, he snapped, I think, for like 680 yards of total offense for us. Great running backs, great receivers. And for myself, that was a pivotal game, too, to say I belong in college football. I can play against the teams they consider to be the best. And I can make my imprint on this city, on this team, and in this town.
When you look back on the time at ECU, who was the guy that walked in the door? Who was the guy that walked out the door at ECU?
I think the freshman Zay Jones was a guy who was wide-eyed, didn't quite know what to expect, had dreams of playing college football, and just wanted to be a part of the team. And I think leaving college, it was a guy who established himself, a man who all the goals he set out achieved, left a rich history and a legacy to continue a tradition of winning and being excellent at what you do at ECU, and really opened the door for guys who were maybe walk-ons or one offer, or those guys who felt overlooked, that, hey, Zay came in here with one offer and he's a NCAA record holder, a Blitnikoff finalist, an All-American, and now his name's hanging in the stadium of Dowdy-Ficklen. So just an inspiration for those who feel overlooked, that they can do something special and they can leave their mark.
The career holder in receptions in NCAA college football. It's amazing. Like, when you hear that, what comes to mind for you?
It's humbling, just to know all the players who have played in college football history, especially the wide receivers who have came through and just been so phenomenal. I mean, the list goes on forever. One person that comes in particular for me is Larry Fitzgerald, and just guys of that caliber who have had such unbelievable careers in college football, and to do something that has never been done before in the history of the game is something that I'm truly blessed and honored. I know it wasn't just an individual effort. I know it came with a lot of hard work from my teammates, quarterbacks, coaching staff, staying up late at night, a lot of belief in me. But I'm proud to carry that for the guys that I played with and for the future generations, and leaving a mark for hopefully some other ECU receiver to say, I want to look up and I want to beat that. I want to see my name hanging in that stadium too.
Zay, what do you know about Coach Mike Houston? I know him a little bit from calling college football games. I saw what he did at James Madison. He walked in there and picked up right where previous coaches had left off. He's a builder of programs. I thought he did a good job of laying some foundation this past year. What have you heard about the new coach, Mike Houston?
Winning tradition, a guy who's won championships at his level, a guy who's a great leader, wants to get the most out of his men, a man who doesn't take excuses but hard work and is diligent. And those are things that you want in a leader. I haven't met him personally. From the things I've seen from afar, I'm very ecstatic about for our program and the direction that it's headed. I believe they have a great guy at the wheel driving the ship. So just trusting and believing in the process that he has. And hopefully those guys get on board and buy in, because their future is bright.
Zay, last thing for you here. So I don't give people a lot of time to necessarily stump for their schools, but you're a guy who's transitioned to the NFL. Tell me what makes ECU so great. Like, if a kid called you and said, Zay, tell me why I should go to ECU, what would you tell them?
I would say the pride and tradition that the school carries. A lot of people will overlook this school and say, oh, it's not a top 5 program. But there is a grittiness about this school. There's a hard work. There's a blue-collar mentality that if you go here and you work and you put in the time and the effort, you're going to play against other good D1 schools as well. It's not like we're playing trash teams, so to speak. But this is a school that it cares for its players. The fan base cares for its players. They love each other. People bleed purple and gold. Rich history of winning. Players have played in the NFL as well. And I was so proud to be a part of that, and still am to be a part of that organization, that program. I wouldn't have wanted to go to any other college in the nation, whether it be Florida, Alabama, or anything like that. ECU is the place for me. I'm glad I had the opportunity to go to that school and represent such an amazing logo and tradition on a national stage.
Hey, good luck this year. Hopefully everything sort of calms down in terms of COVID. You can get back out on the field and we can see you doing your thing at the National Football League level.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.